If you don't know already, this weekend is going to be one of the biggest recruiting weekends of the entire year for Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs because it is scavenger hunt weekend. That's when Kirby and his staff try to get their top targets on campus to learn all about the program, the culture, the academics, the environments, everything. It's always a successful weekend, and it usually leads to some commitments down the road. Again, this year, it is going to be filled with five-star prospects, and that's what I'm going to talk about in today's video. In yesterday's video, I talked about official visitors. So, of course, if you watch this channel consistently, if you are on Dog Post, you know all about these prospects already. But today, I did want to dig into some of the unofficial visitors because it's a loaded group, an absolutely loaded group. We got a galaxy full of stars in Athens, and it starts with David Sanders. He's the number 2 prospect in the country, 6'6", 275, offensive lineman, an elite left tackle. This is your ideal prospect if you're an offensive line coach. Stacy Searles loves him. He has had Georgia firmly in the mix here for a long, long time. I think Georgia probably 12 months ago when he was one of the top sophomores in the country, Georgia was one of the early teams to beat, kind of Georgia Clemson. But you follow the visits, right? And this spring, he took several visits elsewhere. He went to Tennessee a couple times, Ohio State a couple times, Nebraska, Clemson. So it didn't feel like Georgia was at the top, but getting him back on campus is absolutely huge. They're going to be in the mix the entire way. And if this visit goes well, Georgia has a chance to solidify them as one of the top 4, the top 3 programs on his list of schools. Again, I can see him signing with Georgia. This is an elite left tackle. He is big on family. They're going to be down there. And this is David's decision, but the family, I do think, will have a big input. They're going to show him all the offensive tackles that have gone in the draft. They're going to show him the championships, the trophies. Big deal. Moving on, Trey McNutt, a 5-star defensive back from Ohio. He's not the only prospect from Ohio in town. Of course, you can read all about that over on Dog Post, but this is a playmaking safety. He's the number 2 safety in the country, number 26 overall athlete. Makes a lot of plays in coverage. He's also a hard hitter, 6 foot, about 180 pounds, instinctive, athletic, can hit you. He made 61 tackles, but he broke up 12 passes. As a receiver, had 611 yards, 12 touchdowns, one of the top two-way players in the state of Ohio, one of the top players in the country. Heavy Ohio State lean. That's all I've heard about the kid, but he will be in town. Big visit to keep an eye on. An in-state guy to know, Zayden Walker, elite linebacker that Georgia has been on since he was a freshman. If you're new to this channel, I've talked about this guy for a while. I've talked about this guy for years. A 2-way player out of Sly County, super rural Georgia. It's hard to say the word rural Georgia. Small town in Sly County, but running back, linebacker. But he's going to be a linebacker at Georgia, 6'2", 225. He's got a close relative, Jalewis Solomon. I don't know if it's a cousin or a half-brother. I don't know. I don't want to speculate, but it's a relative who played at Sly County last year with him, a 2-way player, defensive back, wide receiver. He plays at South Carolina now, so that will come into play. I think Auburn's still in the mix. I think Florida State's still in the mix, but this has come down to Georgia, South Carolina. I still think Georgia's in the best spot to land him. This is another big visit. He's no stranger to Athens. This is a big deal. One of the top players in the country. He's been one of Glenn Schumann's top targets the whole time. I don't see Glenn Schumann losing an elite in-state linebacker to South Carolina. I don't see it. Georgia has a chance to take a commanding lead in his recruitment this weekend. He's still going to be back in town in 2 weeks for an official visit that first week in May 31st. I think you're going to see this trend Georgia's way until he makes a commitment. First week of July, I think it's July 5th, July 6th, one of those two. So he's looking to take these visits, wrap it up. I think Georgia sits in a good spot. Isaiah Gibson's going to be back in town, an elite pass rusher, one of the top edge defenders across the country out of Warner Robins. In fact, he's the number 2 edge defender in the country, number 35 overall prospect. Again, I've said it for a while. Georgia needs to lock down Middle Georgia in that Warner Robins area. A lot of kids from Warner Robins have gone elsewhere over the years. They haven't had the best luck with guys from a major program in the exact middle of the state, right directly in the middle of the state there. But this is a big deal, a big-time Georgia target. I thought he was a Georgia lean when I spoke with him in person in late February. He's now committed to Southern Cal, but he's still a guy to know. 42 tackles, 12 tackles for a loss, 6 sacks, 24 quarterback hurries. Dude lived in the backfield, attacked the quarterback consistently. 6'4", 240. He's going to be back in town this weekend. It's a massive visit. Georgia's going to stay in this throughout the entire process. I still think Georgia has a good chance of flipping him. But I get it. These guys take these, visits early, somewhat early in the process still to California. They fall in love, but still at the end of the day, I think Georgia has a good chance of flipping this big time. He's not a must-have, but he's a big-time prospect from the middle of their state. So definitely got to keep an eye on. An Ohio State commitment in town, in Athens. He just told me this 30 minutes ago. Tarvos Alford, one of the top linebacker prospects in the country, current Ohio State commitment from Florida, Vero Beach, 6'2", 210, number 5 linebacker in the country, number 69 overall prospect in the country, made 114 tackles last year, 12 tackles for a loss, 4 sacks, 1 interception, 6 pass breakups, athletic, can run, can hit. There's a reason Ohio State, who produces very good linebackers as well, there's a reason they were after him early in the process. Georgia's got a lot of linebacker targets out there still. Zayden Walker, I just talked about him. Nathaniel Owusu-Boateng is a guy who I don't think is going to be on campus this week, but he's a top 100 player linebacker that they're after. They've got Jaden Perlotti on the commit list, but he's looking at other schools. He's going to be taking other official visits, so they're going to have to recruit him like he's uncommitted. Tavian Wallace is an in-state defender from Wayne County who's going to take an official visit to Georgia in June. So there's a lot of linebacker targets out there, but if this kid, Tarvos Alford, wants to jump on board, I'm telling you right now, I think they would welcome him with open arms. This is a guy to know. Also, let's talk about some guys on offense. CJ Wiley. Again, if you watch this channel consistently, you know how much I like this guy. 6'3", 195, runs at 10.6 in the 100 meter. He's one of my favorite wide receivers across the South and the state of Georgia. I've seen him play in person. Big deal. Size, speed, ball skills, athleticism. He's going to be back in town. He's bringing Ethan Barber with him. 4-star tight end commit, was at Alpharetta. Now he's at Milton. They're going to play together. They're going to be almost unstoppable together. Those two are closely going to be in Athens this weekend. I should have plugged it earlier. collegebronze.com. You want one of these bad boys? You want to get one for Father's Day? Get your dad, get your granddad one. They're going to love it. You could say it's for your dad or granddad, but this is a family gift. Everyone's going to love it. Front porch, back porch, by the pool in the office. This guy's going to look great everywhere. Metal spikes. The detail is outstanding. The 5-star reviews speak for themselves. Get yours today with a discount. Promo code DAWGPOST. DAWGPOST. It's a great gift, but get one for yourself. And you can get a discount today using the promo code DAWGPOST. We love it. Go get yourself one. It's the best gift out there. So CJ Wiley in town. Big deal. I think his ranking is only going to increase. Right now, he's the number 16 wide receiver, number 157 overall. But when you have that size, those hands, that speed, the production, he had 22 yards a catch last year, over 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns, 7A state champion. This guy's a big deal. Getting him on campus is a big deal in my eyes. Travis Smith Jr., the other wide receiver that they are hard after. They've got one on the committee list already, Thomas Blackshear from Savannah, but Travis Smith Jr. is a guy from Atlanta that I've talked about for a while. Again, long, lean frame, but he's got plenty of muscle on that frame too. 6'4", 190, tremendous ball skills, can leap, can jump, can win jump ball situations. He's not necessarily a burner, but he can pick up yards after the catch, and he can be tough to bring down. Caught 53 passes last year, 892 yards, 11 touchdowns, number 11 wide receiver prospect, number 12 prospect in Georgia, number 93 overall in the country. Big deal. And a guy that the staff, I think, wants to bring on board badly. He's no stranger to Athens, was there for games last year. He was back in town for G-Day. He's going to be in town this weekend. He's going to be on an official visit May 31st. I think this is trending Georgia's way. I think they are leading Tennessee and a few other schools right now, but I think Georgia's in the driver's seat for Travis Smith Jr., one of the top wide receivers across the South. Getting him on campus with CJ Wiley is a big deal. Those are friends. They work, or they have trained together in the past for a long time with Terrence Edwards former Georgia wide receiver in the early 2000s. One of the better wide receivers, more productive wide receivers of program history. So those are two guys to keep an eye on with size and big-time playmaking ability. Christian Garrett is a nearby defensive lineman, interior guy at Prince Avenue Christian, helped lead them to a second consecutive state title last year, 6'4", 285. He said he'll probably be there. Probably. Number 122 overall prospects. So you're talking about, top 125 in the country. This is a really good player. Again, 6'4", 285. He's got the size. He sheds tackles. Number 17 prospect in Georgia. 86 tackles from the interior defensive line. That's impressive, especially when he's taking on double teams. 9 tackles for a loss. 5 sacks from that defensive tackle spot. Really productive player. Great handshake. He's built. And he's an in-state defensive lineman to know he's going to be in Athens this weekend. Thanks for watching this video. Really appreciate it. Y'all can read more about this story and a lot more over on Dog Post. We've got some big-time scoop over there, so make sure you are tuned in and getting all your Georgia Bulldog team and recruiting information over on Dog Post. Get you a statue. Again, the description, all the details are in the description down below. Make sure you're doing that. Get yourself one of these. Get yourself a Dog Post subscription. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you on the website.